When he was 2, he used to come up here, sit on my lap. Now he's in the 1st grade. That's crazy. Yeah, fire away.
So you hold New York to 32 something on Tuesday. Today, 31.1, one field goal and 4 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense in the last 2 games has been, amazing. And it's made up for a lot of problems on the other end. I mean, what is going on that end?
Which one? The defense? Let's want to focus on the positive. Yeah. Well, and we weren't that good in the first half. We gave up, I believe it was 40 at the half, if I'm not 41. And of that 41, 18 were in the paint. So we were letting our frustrations on offense impact what we were doing defensively. And so we really, we talked about that at halftime, but that was unacceptable. That we know that as we work through our challenges on offense, that, your defense has to give you a chance. And then maybe, you could try to play with some flow off of that. And we had, I thought we were considerably better in the second half offensively. We just, for whatever reason right now, the grind, not making open shots when we kick it out, probably thinking a little bit. LA's style of play is one that's, pain in the neck to play against. It's all about making it ugly as possible. And they certainly accomplished that. We had our way with them in LA. I think offensively, and Fee was a big part of that. They weren't going to let Fee get going, and Fee never got going. So to win a game, without Leja, who's a double figure scorer, without Fee, who's, I don't know if she's our leading scorer or not at this point, but she's up there. Without those two, and then obviously, without Dantas, right now we're struggling to find the offense to really match, the effort defensively. So we'll just, we're going to celebrate the small successes. Our defense did what it needed to do. Holding any team in the WNBA to 4 points in a quarter, really special. The fourth quarter, has been something that we've been doing. And so we'll give them credit for that, and we'll just keep working away at the other end.
I'll start with the negative. So non-Sylvia Fowles starters shot just 22.5% on 31 shots. And if Lay is going to continue to miss more time into next week, just what is it going to take for the other 4 starters to really step up and help Sil?
Well, it's a little bit like we felt like in the beginning of the season, as we're trying to find a little bit different identity. Now we've got, Fee is not necessarily a small forward now, she's power forward. And so, different players that she's going to go against. And she did it all of last year in the bubble. So we've got to find our way with that. And I feel like we're, again, kind of doing it more when it's heat of the moment, and they're not quite, we're not rhythmic about what we're doing because we're a little more unsure, who's where, when. I haven't been doing this, and now I have to do it. So that's a little bit of it. If these injuries, take place when we had a week off, might have been a little more helpful rather than, we get to the end of the time off and then we're dealing with it in game situations. But at the same time, on top of all that, we are playing teams that are desperate to win games. And so you're getting their very best, their very desperate play. And so that's on top of, some of the challenges that we're having in terms of our losses with regard to injuries. So I'm pleased to have gotten 2 wins in these games, and certainly want to be better offensively, but I'm not giving either one of these back, any of these wins, just because they didn't look exactly like I want them to look.
I heard you yell "break the play" probably 5 or 6 times in the first half.
500 times probably.
And I don't know if I heard you say it in the third quarter, and it looked like Ariel was really the only player you had tonight that could get into the paint off the dribble.
Yeah.
Just what about her offensive performance really helped kind of unlock things for you offensively?
Well, we talked about it in the last game, the dynamic way that AP can play. I mean, saw her hit a 3, the second 3 she got off, looked pretty darn good, just didn't go in. She wanted to help us in getting the penetration that we wanted. I have to go back to the rule book because I don't understand, when we are going north-south, which I thought we were pretty intent on doing, that we just don't get, we don't get the call of an impede. And so AP is somebody that forces the issue maybe a little bit better. And that's what she gave us. First half she struggled. I thought she settled in the first half, and we told her in the second half she has got to get to 1 to 5 feet and make things happen from there. That the last one where, basically she held it and then just lost it, that possession, she was gassed. And when that happens to AP, it's not been pretty for us. So we're still in this space of it's 3-4 minutes. And when you get her fresh and she's got really good opportunity, both games, both New York game and this game, she helped us get separation.
Bridget has hit 2 3-pointers in the last 2 games.
Yep.
And both of them have been enormous 3-pointers.
Yeah.
The 2 plays that kind of stand out, her hitting that 3 after both teams had, with the tie game, both teams had chances. She finally hit that.
Yeah.
And then Ariel going to the floor to get the loose ball after her miss.
Yeah.
Getting the ball to the perimeter, then getting up and going and hitting her 3. Can
Yeah.
you just talk about that sequence and just how big it was?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, that's AP, her will. She's on the bench, things that she's saying going in the game. She's a hype player. And I think she turned to me when she was going on, looking for me to hype her up. So I'm not accustomed to being in that role, but I'll do it, whatever the team needs to get her going. And that's just, she was just putting on the line, her will to win was something, again, that we needed. It makes it easier. That's her job. That's her skill set. And so, those are big moments to want it more than the player that she was playing against or competing for a ball. That's what wins games. And I was happy to see her break through in that way and get rewarded with some big plays. And obviously our team got the separation. And, Bridget, she's one that we're really, we're working with her on. She has got to get more assertive in taking shots. The fact that she only took 3 threes is very disappointing. She has a job to take a minimum of 5 threes because they're going to leave her multiple times, and she's turning down open shots, and that's 2 games now. So yeah, of course, the big ones, I think she obviously was just 0 for 2 going into that last one, but she had just had one earlier, a couple possessions prior to it on the other side of the floor. BC believes in herself. That's the great thing. It might not be the game that she wanted to have and frustrated, but she's going to stand in there and just make these timely threes. And that's a great quality. Yeah. Just directionally. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was had the length, it had the trajectory, just, she was left on it. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the good thing when you miss, you lock in on, your mechanics and, in a big moment. She has a lot of confidence in herself, and she got great experience with Canada basketball and being a key player for them. And I think that's helping now. And just know she has to keep fighting. And we asked all of them, just keep fighting and working through it, and know you're frustrated. I know you want to play better. But we still got to win the game, try to win the next play. BC always does that every time she steps on the floor.
So how does a win like this help you with the playoffs now actually clinched?
Well, we clinched it after the New York game. It's unfortunate that not everybody knew that. So going into the game, we were clinched, and we talked to the team about it. It's a very important step. It doesn't change anything. Today's game doesn't change anything because the season's not over and the seeding's not been decided. So we're business as usual. We did take a moment to acknowledge, it's important not to take anything for granted. Making the playoffs in this league 11 straight years, the team in the locker room isn't thinking about 11 straight years. They're only thinking about this one. And it's a first step. So we took a moment and talked about that. And, it wasn't the ultimate goal, but it's a necessary first step to the goal. And we've got more games to play, and we want to put ourselves in position that if anything happens above us, that we're right there to take advantage of it. And you have to win to be able to do that.
But a win like this, where you were behind and everybody wasn't exactly playing at their best, does that put you on a better path when you're in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, having to get through adversity. Yeah. And that's what I told him. That was my favorite part about this game. It wasn't pretty, I mean, I swore more than you could possibly imagine in this game. I was incredulous most of the game between the officiating and between our players. But the fact that, we kind of got to this space where we said, okay, it's not doing us any good to be frustrated fussing and, whatever. We just need to go next play. Okay. It didn't go like we wanted to, just get a stop. That's what we said, get a stop. And, just to try to get some momentum off of that. And hopefully we would break through. And obviously we did it in time to, get a separation late in that fourth quarter.
We have time for 2 more on the Zoom. Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Cheryl. Sorry, I had some trouble unmuting myself. I was wondering if you could talk about, obviously held the Sparks just to 16 points in the second half, 4 in the fourth quarter. Just what does it mean, especially on your home court against a rival, to have such a indomitable defensive performance down the stretch?
Well, it's a really good trend for us. We've been a good defensive team for a while. And then, these 2 efforts, these last 2 games, New York and this one have been, extra good. And, we're now 130-4 when we hold opponents below 40%, but we're holding them well below 30%. And thank goodness, because we're not much above 30% in our field goal percentage. So, again, first half, we did not get it done. They were about 43%. They were points in the paint. We were letting our offense dictate, a lack of focus. And then we made sure that we shored that up. And, we've been a good defensive team. I like what we're doing a lot. Our defensive rating is in a territory that's teams that I've had that have been special. We're in that territory, and that's really good. And obviously need the offense too. And we still remain, near the top, our effective field goal percentage, our true shooting percentage and all that. But, we obviously want to be a little bit better than what we've been in the last 2 games there.
Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I know you could say this every year, probably with every sport, but injuries, sometimes just the timing of them can make so much difference. And when you're talking about teams like your team that is a championship contender, how do you sort of deal with that from the mental and emotional side, not just the on-court side?
Well, we probably spend more time on the on-court part of it, because you can't let it be emotional or mental. Everybody in the league knows, that when you have an injury, that it's very unfortunate for the person injured, but it's opportunity for someone else. And as a coach, every night you go into a game, you have this mindset of, you don't know what's going to happen during the day. What if all of a sudden you don't have a player that you thought you were going to have? You got to be constantly thinking about, okay, I don't have Dantas now, the role that Dantas was playing. Where do we still get some of those things from? Who's going to do this? Whose role? And we're still learning through that. And that's probably the biggest impact. Again, we love Damiris so much and, feel so badly for her. But it's one of those things that, you can't spend too much time on it. We'll take good care of her. She'll continue to be there for us. And, same thing with Lay. I know Lay's working extremely hard with the medical staff to do all that they can to get back as soon as possible. And that's all you can do. Control what you can control.
We'll go last question to Leo. Leo, go ahead.
Coach, wanted to ask you about Crystal's performance there. Obviously, she had a rough time shooting the ball, but looking at the box score, she actually led the team with 2 blocks. And, I know it was a team effort on defense, but, what can you say about, what she was bringing out there and obviously having to try to slow down Erica Wheeler out there?
She competed. Crystal competed defensively, and I think she's enjoying. I think, we've asked for it for the better part of her career. A lot as a rookie, we didn't throw a lot at her, but we talked about in this offseason, look, this has to happen. And a little bit of push and pull early in the season. I think she's found a groove now and is seeing results from being hard to play against, and multiple screen action for Erica Wheeler. So she's constantly getting through screens, trying to stay in plays and competing. And like you said, 2 block shots. And, Crystal had, kind of a fierceness about her that we saw in the bubble. Those double techs, where, one throws the ball, Crystal's not going to take it from anybody. I would have preferred that she held the ball so we can get the extra free throw and get a point rather than retaliate. But at the same time, I can appreciate edginess, and Crystal has to bring that. And we got to get her offense going. She's got to make some shots. It's going to feel better for her. But until then, again, I like her and Rachel, it's done differently, but Rachel's defense flies under the radar just because it doesn't look the same. But she's somebody that we're highly confident, to put on opposing guards. And I thought she did a hell of a job on Sabrina. And so Rachel turned the corner as well. And so it's good to have that from both of them because Lage has been giving us physicality to go against at the point of the defense that we didn't want to. We wanted to make sure the gap wasn't too much. So give Crystal credit for doing it for us.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you. We're not. Shoot around a second. Gophers win.
So,
Hey, Ken.
you just talked briefly about how the shoulder feels and how it weathered this physical storm, and then just talk a little bit about how you guys have taken your defense to kind of a whole new level this week.
The shoulder is holding up. It held up better than I thought it would tonight. But I trusted Chuck and them to do their thing. And so I had a lot of cushion and taping and all that stuff going on there. So it feels good. I'm happy with the outcome of it. As far as our defense, I think we did a really good job in the second half. First half, we was kind of discombobulated a little bit. LA had us sped up a little bit on both ends of the floor, but I think that break into halftime was really good for us. Just to talk about some things that's going on, what can we control, what can't we control type thing, and just putting our money where our mouth is and going out there and getting it done.
Hey, so congrats on the win.
Thank you.
It felt like in the first half, you only had maybe 3 or 4 meaningful touches in the post. And I know Zowie B didn't play the last 14 minutes, but even before, she left the game, it felt like, you were starting to get better touches and kind of got going offensively. What do you think changed?
Our team understanding that LA floods the plane and that that first initial look is never there. And so me just making sure I keep working as the ball change ends of the floor, and them just keeping an eye on the post. I think they did a better job in the second half with that. But the first half, it just wasn't there, the first look.
And then it's felt like in a good chunk of this winning stretch that, you've been the offensive engine for probably the first 80% of the game. And then that last 20%, especially here at home, it's really felt like the role players have really kind of taken the baton from you and stepped up at the end of the game. What do you think has really enabled their consistent clutch performance?
Everybody's stepping up when time is needed. I think we have a good concept of who need to be scoring, who need touches, who is hot. So having the awareness of that, I think help out as the game go along.
So a game like this where you guys weren't doing your best in the first half, you're like discombobulated, as you said. What do you think that does to help your team get ready for the postseason that's coming so quickly?
Just understanding we're gonna have to make our own breaks. Every team we play is gonna look different. So our defensive schemes are gonna look different. Our offensive schemes is gonna look different depending on who we play, and just be willing to step up to the challenge without having so many lacks in our offense and our defense.
You guys haven't had a whole lot of chance to see what Ariel is at 100% this year, but the last 2 games, she's really given you guys a spark. I was thinking about that sequence where she missed a shot tonight, went to the floor to get the loose ball, and then ended up hitting that 3-pointer. Are you starting to get a sense of just how dynamic she can be and what she can do for you?
We had an early sense of AP in training camp. She definitely gives us that spark that we don't have or that we've been missing or lacking. And we just love her energy. That's what she's here for. She's the energizer player. She's going to get it done on both ends of the floor. So every time she steps on the floor, we know she's going to give 110%.
All right, we're going to go to the Zoom. Leo, go ahead.
So first of all, how are you? Just in general, how are you doing?
I'm holding up well, thank you.
Good. I do want to ask you, what do you feel like was the main turning point in the game? Like, was there at one moment or one play or segment that you felt like that's really where you felt like y'all were able to put them away?
Not having so many turnovers, I think that was the turning point. I believe they had like 15 shots of 15 points off by 11 turnovers. And so that was a big change in the game of us taking care of the ball.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sil.
Thank you. Thank you. Woo, it felt good in here. Sorry. Let's see. Do I look cute in my glass? Let's see.
Hey Ariel, congrats on the win. You said at practice last week that you had your first bit of a mental breakdown. A little
Yeah.
bit. Just in returning from the injuries that you've had,
Mhm.
and coming out tonight, really looking like the aerial powers that I think everybody was excited to see.
Yeah.
Just how much fun was it to just be in your element, just having the crowd feed off just every single thing that you were doing in the second
It
half?
felt good. I felt like finally I wasn't thinking as much as I have been in the last few games. And that will just come with time. I haven't played in 8 weeks before I started playing. Actually, longer than that because of my hamstring injury. So just trying to give all I can to my teammates and get back in their rhythm offensively and defensively. But it felt good to finally go out there and not think and play. It felt fun. Even on defense, it felt really fun today for me.
And then Cheryl said in the first half that you were settling a little bit
Yeah.
too much.
Mhm.
And then in the second half, it looked like you were really the only, Lynx player that was able to get into the paint off of the dribble.
Mhm.
Just how is your thumb feeling,
Mhm.
and how is your mindset totally different in that second
My thumb
half?
is feeling good. I don't know if you noticed last game
Second
at
half, you took
halftime.
it
I
off.
took that
Yeah.
off. I'm like, I can't. I was able to go to the doctor. What's today? Monday. Talk to him. He watched me play against Chicago. He said, "You're really aggressive. I would advise you to keep it on, but at this moment in time, it's strong enough to go without it." So I said, okay, I'm gonna try it. But then I said, if I feel like I'm not myself or I'm thinking too much or worried about it, I'm gonna take it off and just give it all I have. And that's what I did last game in the second half. And I felt like today I'm like, I'm not playing with it. I need to just go full head of steam. But still in this first half, I was thinking too much. And then I think just relaxed. Coach talked to me too about me settling. And she kind of pumped me up. And I think that kind of got me going.
Can you talk about that sequence where you missed a shot, went to the floor and got your own rebound, and then got up and got behind the 3-point line to hit that shot? I mean, that was kind of a crucial kind of sequence. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, I think I wasn't thinking. So I just realized when I got behind the 3-point line and got the ball, no one was there. So I took the shot. I think BC had just hit a shot right before then. So it was able to kind of let us relax a little bit, give us a little bit of a cushion. But like I said, when I got the rebound, I wasn't really thinking too much. I was thinking, who's open? All right, let me get back out. And luckily no one was on me for the three.
So Cheryl did mention that, and you just mentioned now that she pumped you up.
Yeah.
So what she said that that's not normally her thing,
Yeah.
but what was she saying to you? How did she kind of accomplish that?
I really feed off that. I'm learning her as a coach. I think she's still learning me as a player. I'm really big on energy, whether it's from my teammates, the coaching staff, or the crowd. I really feed off of it. So I know I felt like I was, thinking a lot in the first half. So I think she subbed me in. I'm like, all right, come on, coach, let's go. And she just kind of laughed, like, all right, let's go. And I'm looking at Rachel. Me and Rachel are about to go, come on, let's go. We need the energy. Because I feed off that, and it helps me get out of my own head. And she just kind of laughed, and she was like, yeah, let's go on defense. And then when I got in with Rachel, I think we got like 3 stops in a row. I don't know how many we converted on, but I just feed off of it. And thankful for her for like wanting to do that, because it means a lot.
So I'm glad you brought up energy, because that was going to be my next question. I don't see watching you on the bench, watching you on the court, I don't see an energy difference between the two. So how, even when you're sitting on the bench, how do you keep that up?
Just getting excited for my teammates when we have a pass combination, somebody drives, even if the shot doesn't go in and it's the best shot, I'm hype about it because that means we're doing the right things to win the games. We get 3 stops in a row. I'm hyped because that's freaking hard to do, especially in the WNBA. Like, all these girls are good. So just giving to my teammates, and then when I'm on the court, giving to my teammates too, and just trying to get as many stops as we can and convert on them. I don't know. That's my shit.
You've been in this league a few years now.
Mhm.
Have you ever been a part of a team that has done what this team has done defensively for 2 straight games? I mean, holding teams to like 30% shooting.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I think you'll be better at telling me the stats of that. But I know today when Coach got into the locker room, she said we had about 3 stops, three sets of 3 stops. So like basically 9 stops in a row at one point, sometime in the fourth, she said, or maybe in the second half somewhere. And when she said it, I'm like, that's a lot of stops, no matter if you convert or not, that's a lot of stops. That's a lot of hard work from each and every one of us. And the thing about defense, it takes everybody. If one person is off or if I slack on defense, like it can hurt the team. So clearly we were all on one accord with that. But yeah.
AP, we have a couple questions on the Zoom. We'll start with Michelle Vogel. Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah, Ariel, I just, as somebody who, played against Sylvia Fowles for a few years and knows how frustrating it was, what's it like being her teammate and just what she continues to do?
It's so crazy because, like, she does this stuff with ease. She's so great at what she does, and sometimes I don't think she gets all the credit that she deserves. Today, I heard she had 17 rebounds, and I'm like, dang, those 17 rebounds was so easy for her because she's so dominant. So it's fun playing with her, and also it's a learning experience for me because I don't think I've ever played with such a dominant center. So I'm still kind of learning to play with her too and trying to do the best I can to go off of her, whether it's screen and roll or looking for her in the paint and not staring her down, getting the ball down there. So it's definitely fun. And I think today I had a few passes to her where I'm like, all right, I'm learning. But she's so dominant, so great. I mean, she's a legend, she's a legend right now, and I'm playing with her, and I admire her play and everything she's doing and continues to do for us.
Thank you.
Frank, go ahead.
Thanks. You mentioned how dominant she is, and obviously in the second half tonight, she really started to assert herself more in the game. When she does that, what effect does that have on the rest of the team?
It gets us going. I mean, sometimes if we're, going on a little bit of a scoring drought, we're like, get the ball on the seal. We already know she's gonna make something happen. 9 times out of 10, she's gonna make something happen. Or you get the ball down, she scores a few, get the ball down again, then it's double, she kicks it out. We have easy shots. Playing off of her is very, very helpful. And the thing is, she's patient with us because she does know sometimes we stare her down too much. We might give her a bad pass, but you know what? She keeps working her butt off and she's patient with us, and we can't do anything but respect that and play for her because of how she reacts to that.
We have time for 2 more quick ones. We'll go Danny and then Leo. Danny, go ahead.
Hey, P, congrats on the win. I was wondering if you could talk a bit about Kayla McBride, what she's bringing on both ends of the floor. Obviously, we talk a lot about Kayla on offense, but yeah, she was also jumping passing lanes, really getting involved on D. So yeah.
Yeah, she did good on defense. She had a couple steals. I thought she was gonna. One of those tips, I thought she was gonna go down and dunk. She's been really, really good. Even in shoot arounds, I've noticed that she's really locked in. If either of us needs or messes up on something, she kind of knows what to say and where the player should be and who does what. So we need that leadership, and she's been doing good both on offense and defense, and we need that. We need that to continue. We need that to make our playoff run, and I have no doubt she's going to give us that and help us to win a championship.
Leo, go ahead.
AP, Saturday is going to be your first game against the Mystics.
Yeah.
And I just want to kind of get your thoughts. Have you circled that game, on your calendar as one that you're going to take a little bit personally? You got a little bit extra energy for that? Or, have you thought about that?
I think it's always exciting playing the team that you used to play on. I didn't win the championship, so I have a lot of respect and everything to those players, the coaching staff. But of course, I want to play well against the team that I used to play on. I mean, every player would. So it's not like, oh, snap, we're playing DC. But it's also right now where I'm at in my head, everything I'm doing. I'm also trying to get back to the aerial powers that I know I am, right? So when it comes to playing them, I really just focus on giving everything I have to my team and playing without thinking right now, you know? And I think I'll do well doing that instead of focusing on, oh, this is DC. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Thank you, AP.
All right, y'all. Thank you. All right. See y'all. Thank you. I was just gonna compliment the shirt. So